Hello, everybody. Today's video will be about the real reasons that men don't ask for help. I'm Coach Andy, and this is my channel on helping men with their issues, with get control of their lives, helping men find control of their lives and get control of the things they don't have control of that they can have control of. So, this subject came up for me recently in a number of different conversations. I saw a friend of mine post something on his page that said, "I'm I know I can ask for help, but I'm not likely to ask for help. I'm an independent type who generally does things on my own." Another conversation I had, the guy was asking for help, and when I offered help, he didn't want what I was offering. And when I asked him what he wanted, he couldn't answer me. Just help. I just want help. Help with what? I don't know. Just help. And another post on social media, a friend of mine was asking for help. It was a fairly long post, and where he was becoming vulnerable, um, basically saying, "I've been struggling with this and this and this throughout my life, and I'm asking for help." So those are a number of different scenarios that brought up the same thing, the same subject. First of all, those are all guys acknowledging that they ask for help. Even the guy who says, "I don't ask for help," he was sharing something that says, "I don't ask for help," which in a way is its own way of asking for help. If a guy doesn't ask for help, if a guy's truly independent, he doesn't think of asking for help. And very, very few guys are like that. Most guys will ask for help in some cases, or have asked for help in some cases, or still ask for help in some cases, or want to ask for help in some cases. Most guys do think of getting help and receiving help. They want it, they desire it, they crave it, and in many cases, they request it. So, this myth that guys don't ask for help is purely a myth because they do. The problem we have isn't that guys aren't asking, it's that we don't know how to hear them when they do, and we don't know how to respond if we hear them. So here's a few points that I have to say on this subject, and I think that might help. First of all, we hear all over the place men don't ask for help. We hear it in articles, we hear it in TV shows, we hear it in coaching conversations, we hear it on interviews, we hear it all over the place. We hear guys just don't ask for help. And when a lot of guys hear that, they don't hear it as a complaint, they hear it as instructions. When we say over and over and over and over again, "My husband, my brother, my father just won't ask for help," have you ever considered that that to them sounds like you don't want them to? I mean, I understand that that's not what you mean when you say it. You're complaining that he doesn't ask for help. But what happens if when he hears it as, "I don't want you to ask for help"? One of the number one complaints I get from my clients, from my guy clients, and all my clients are guys so far, is that their spouses and partners and family members accuse them of not asking for help and don't listen when they do. Have you ever considered that maybe you're so stuck on the concept that guys don't ask for help that you don't hear when they do? That you don't even know what that looks like? Is it possible that you don't know how to receive a request for help from him? I would challenge you to change guys don't ask for help to I don't know how to hear guys who ask for help. Because they are asking. I promise you, they're asking. They're coming to me in droves and they're requesting help. Now, not all of them are coaching clients. Not all of them want a coaching relationship. Not all of them want the same thing, but they do want help. Most of them want their spouse to just offer to help. Many of them want their friends and family to listen to their requests. A large chunk of them want people to stop calling them a weak or I don't know, many of the other derogatory words that we use to describe a man we think isn't man enough. And I can think of many that I don't want to put on this video. Instead of calling men names, instead of accusing them of not asking, ask yourself, do you know how to hear it if they do ask? A friend of mine the other day was sitting there snuggling with his cat. And we were chatting on the phone and he mentioned to me every time his cat comes to snuggle with him, he's hungry. So, excuse me, I'll go feed my cat. So he came back on the phone afterwards and I said, so how do you know when your cat wants to snuggle? Well, he doesn't. Every time he snuggles, he wants to eat. He's hungry. Well, how do you know that? How do you know the difference between when your cat wants to snuggle and when your cat's hungry? Well, I don't know. That's my point exactly with men asking for help. Do you know what it looks like? Or do you only know what it looks like when you ask for help? I get that oftentimes we don't hear other people or we don't feel other people hear us when we ask for help. But flip the coin for a moment. Do you know how to hear him when he asks? And I would be willing to bet money that if you have a man in your life that you believe doesn't ask for help, his asking isn't the problem. How you can learn how to ask, how to receive requests for help, what you can do to solve that problem, I'll get to in the end of the video. I'll bring the solutions to all of these things toward the end of the video. So pay attention, keep listening, there's more to come. Another reason why guys don't ask for help is because they don't actually get help when somebody does hear them. These two guys, the examples I talked about earlier, that did ask for help, the one who said, I won't ask for help, but he kind of did. When you say you won't ask for help, that's kind of a request for help. Indirectly. And the guy who did ask for some help, both of them, got the same responses on their posts. I'm here for you, man. Call me up whenever you need something. I love you. You're a great person. You know, I think I like this and this and this about you. They get lots of platitudes, lots of love, lots of comments, lots of people who were able to and willing to show the love to these people, to these guys. But what they didn't get, except from one person, was here's what I can do to help you if you like. Here's the things I'm good at, the things I can offer, the things I can do. If you want those things, please call me. A lot of people said, if you need some help, call me. If you want something, call me. Give me a call, buddy. Let's chat. Which is great in the moment. You're taking some time out of your life to give them a piece of you. And that's great. And a week later, when they're deep, dark in their depression, and they've had their second bottle of Jack Daniels in an hour, and they call me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, they don't remember those comments. They don't remember all those platitudes, all those offers for help. Because after the comments are gone and maybe the phone calls happened, they still didn't get what they were looking for. What they were looking for wasn't a bunch of, oh, I love you, man, or you're a great person, or here's all the qualities I love, or let's have a conversation. What they were looking for is, my kids don't love me anymore and I don't know how to fix that. But they didn't say it. What they were looking for is, I lost my job and I don't know if I can get another one. But they didn't say that. What they were looking for is, I've been dealing with depression for 10 years and I just want somebody to talk to every day. But they didn't say that. Giving our platitudes is wonderful. It is necessary. And in many cases, by the time you do hear a guy ask for help, those platitudes aren't enough. By the time the chemistry of him asking and you hearing match, by the time that adds up, he's past platitudes being enough. He actually needs a action step, possibly an action step from you. The guy who said, these are the things that I'm good at. These are the things that I can do to help. That guy is what these guys are looking for. That guy is going to be able to do something in a week when they've had their second bottle of Jack Daniels and they're calling me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I can say, has anybody actually helped? And that guy is the one person they think of. So the platitudes are important. Keep those up. But please don't let it stop there. Another reason why guys don't ask for help is because we're actually told on a regular basis how weak and wimpy and worthless we are by the important people in our lives. And not just our parents when we're children. Our wives do that. Our friends do that. Our coworkers do that. Our bosses do that. We're actually told that even if we ask for help, we're not worth it anyway. People actually say those things to us. I have clients that I talk to on a weekly basis where every week they come to the call and someone has said one of those things to them. You want guys to ask for help? Stop telling them they don't deserve it. You want guys to get their shit together? Stop telling them how worthless they are, how weak, wimpy, and useless they are. That isn't how you get anybody to become a good person. Shaming somebody doesn't make them better. It makes them worse, and it makes you even worse than them. Shaming somebody is a version of abuse. It's a version of control. And it's damaging, hurtful, and downright immoral. If you want a guy to ask for help him believe that you want to help him instead of shaming him. Guys are asking. I asked many, many times in my life. I've asked for help for most of my life, throughout my life, from many different sources. Government sources, charity sources, nonprofit groups, churches, schools, employers, coworkers, friends, family, my spouse, Hell, I've even asked for my help for my kids. And all of these things were the responses that I got. You don't ask for help. Just ask for help when you want it. I did ask and you didn't listen. Coworkers, bosses, just ask for the help when you're struggling. I did ask and you were busy. I did ask and you couldn't help me. I did ask and you told me to go away. Figure it out. Oftentimes, when I ask my friends and family for help, I'll post on social media like these other guys did, or I'll call somebody up and say, I'd like to talk, I need some help. Oftentimes, they'll sit and listen to all of my problems and all that's going on in my life, and they'll say, I don't know what to do, but I do love you. You're a great person. I want to be there for you. Let me know if there's something I can do for you. I just did let you know, and you didn't do it. I just told you what I thought you could do. I told you what I wanted, and you couldn't do it. And that's fine, except when everybody I ask gives me the same answer. It's okay. You don't have to be the person that solves the problem, but I have nobody solving problems. That's a problem. If everybody I call up says that's not my problem to solve, I don't know how to do that, I can't help, then I'm still alone. Why am I going to keep asking when I get that time after time after time for 10 or 15 or 20 different kinds of problems? When I call up a friend or a family member and say, look, I'm short of rent this month, can you help me? And they say, I'm sorry, I'm strapped, I can't help you. And then I call them up a month later and say, I'm really struggling this month, I could use a friend. Can we go for a beer, play some video games together, do something? And they say, look, I've already promised that I'm going to spend the night with my girlfriend or my wife. My kids need me. I'm sorry, I can't help. When I might call them up 6 months later and say, look, I'm homeless. Can I stay at your place for a couple of days? And they say, we don't have any space. I did that for a previous roommate and he burned me. So I'm sorry, I can't help. When after that, I'm feeling suicidal a year later, a month later, a day later, I'm feeling suicidal. Guess who I'm not calling? That's where I was over and over and over again in my life. I've been suicidal many, many times. And that was my response almost every time I asked. Some version of I can't help. So I stopped asking. Platitudes aren't enough when we get to that place. When you hear my request for help, you recognizing all of my wonderful qualities and telling me how much you care and how much you want to help and how much you wish you could help, it's not enough. By that stage, I'm not thinking I'm just not good enough. I'm thinking I can't do it on my own and I need help. And that leads me to the last reason we don't ask for help. We do actually have all those insecurities that people list when they say guys don't ask for help. I do feel weak. I do feel like I'd be stronger if I did it on my own. I do feel like it would be better if I could do this on my own. I would show the world how strong I am. And when I can't, I don't ask for help because of all those reasons listed before. I don't try to do it on my own first. try to ask for help first, and when help isn't available, then I try to do it on my own. So when I've tried to do it on my own and failed, now I'm a failure. I feel like I'm a failure because I asked for help and couldn't get it, don't deserve it. And I tried to do it on my own and am not good enough. That's what happens. We do have those insecurities. We do feel weak. We are told you're weak, you're useless, you're worthless, you're a wimp, and all the much more derogatory words that mean all those same things. We're told those things by those we care about most. We do have those same insecurities that you talk about when you talk about men not asking for help. Those that do exist, but they're not the primary reason or the only reason or even the main reason why we don't ask for help. They're the last and least important reason that we don't ask for help. Because we did ask for help before we had those feelings. We did ask for help before we got that bad. Before those insecurities became so disabling that we couldn't ask anymore. We did ask for help. So what can we do about it? Well, there's a few things that we can do about it. Instead of repeatedly saying, writing articles, doing interviews, and putting in TV programs and movies that men just don't ask for help, why don't you show what happens when we do? The only media that I have seen show what happens when we do ask for help is the Christian feel-good movies. Your typical Arnold Schwarzenegger movie or Vin Diesel movie or John Wayne movie. We don't even recognize when they ask for help in those movies. How many times did you see those guys, those actors, going through the movie and beating the bad guy with no help from anyone? How many times did you see all those macho representatives in their action movies doing all the action hero stuff alone with no help? Is it really just a movie of one actor and a bunch of bad guys? I challenge you to watch those movies again and see how many people were on their teams. Sure, many of those people died. It's an action movie. That's part of the formula. But they did have help. In your articles, when you're writing an article as a professional in the industry about why men don't ask for help, ask yourself, do you know how to hear them when they ask? When was the last time you saw a Facebook post or a Twitter post or a YouTube video where a guy was asking for help and you offered a very specific action on his behalf? Something more than just, you're a great person, I'm here to help. Because he's already reached out. He's already reached out by putting it on his social media. Do you think he's going to want to reach out again? If he reaches out the first time, even in a general sense, offer to help. Our insecurities don't give us enough energy to ask and ask and ask and ask and ask. If we don't get a positive response the first time, we probably won't ask a second. When somebody you care about does ask and they say, I'm struggling with this or that, whatever it is, instead of saying, I understand and I wish I could help, why don't you say, I feel you, or even I understand, that's enough. Give the platitudes and then give a very specific action that you can do that will help. Something you're willing to do and able to do. So maybe you can't let him move in with you, but you can call your buddy John who might have a rental that he could move into. Or you could call up your brother-in-law who's looking to rent out a bedroom suite. Or you could ask around at work if anybody's looking for a roommate. Or maybe you could start up a GoFundMe if he's short on rent. Or take a donation pool amongst the family members and just say, look, he's struggling with a couple $100. Can we help? Offer what you can do, anything you can do. I can go for a beer with you if you like. I'll buy. Yeah, sure, let's play video games. Oh, you don't have a console? Come over to my place. We'll play here. Or if that doesn't work, how about I just grab my TV and my Xbox and I come over to your place? We'll just hang out for a day, play some games. Offer something you can give him. Don't offer to meet whatever request he's willing to make because he just made one. And instead of calling them weak and worthless, unreliable, untrustworthy, whatever derogatory names you can think of, why don't you instead call attention to those areas that he's strong? Maybe the area you want him to be strong, he's not, but I'm sure he is strong in some area. I'm sure there are qualities you do like about him. Otherwise, why is he still in your life? If you want the men in your life to be strong and reliable and powerful, point out to them how they already are. Pointing out to them their weaknesses, the things that you don't like about them, that doesn't encourage a guy to fix them. That just makes them feel worthless. If you want a guy to feel powerful, strong, reliable, trustworthy, caring, compassionate, generous, show him the ways that he already is so that he can build on those. Instead of telling him to build up the things that he's crappy at, help him build the things he's already good at. Show him the things you admire most. The real reason men don't ask for help is because when we do, nobody's listening. And even if they are listening, they don't respond. And even if they do respond, they don't give us what we need, what we're asking for. Yeah, we do have our own insecurities, but that isn't the problem. Who's listening? Who's helping? When was the last time you actually answered a guy's call and actually gave him what he asked for? That's how we change the world from men who don't ask for help to men who get the help they're looking for. I'm Coach Andy. I hope this was helpful. If there's anything else you want to talk about, another conversation, let me know. I'd love to help.